token. We have seen a basic example of rate limiting. Actually, it was not a basic example. It was pretty comprehensive and interesting example inside a login controller, inside this login request, right? Here, we use this rate limiter to hit, to save the record, and to clear the saved records inside the limiter, and also to check how many seconds is available for the throttle key to attempt it again, and so on. So this is a pretty interesting case. However, in most cases, we need a pretty basic and simple rate limiting functionality that a user should only make whatever 60 requests as an example per minute, or 200 requests per minute, not more than that. All right, how we're going to do this? So we have throttle middleware, and we can see this inside auth PHP. Look at this throttle, and that throttle has two parameters, like 6 and 1, which means that 6 requests maximum per 1 minute. The same thing happens here. Okay. However, there is ability to define a group inside this throttle middleware, and this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to open App Service Provider, and right here I'm going to use rate limiter, which is going to be illuminate support facades. Then I'm going to call for, and I'm going to provide API. So I'm defining rate limiter for the API. Then I'm going to provide a function, and we're going to accept request. We need to import that request class from illuminate HTTP request. All right, after which we are going to return limit. We are using this rate limiting, cache rate limiting class, limit per minute, and provide how many requests per minute. 60 requests. As an example, you can set this 200, 110, whatever you want. 60 requests per minute, and I'm going to also group this by authenticated user. So I'm providing the request user, and if the request user exists, I'm using this question mark, then I'm going to take its ID. If the request user doesn't exist, then it's going to fall back to the following area. If this is null, then this will be null, and the code execution will come here, in which case I'm going to take request IP. So if the user exists, we're going to take the user ID. If the user doesn't exist, and if the user is guessed, we're going to take the request IP. So we created that group. Now, if I go into the API, I have auth middleware here. I'm going to wrap everything inside throttle middleware as well. We are using throttle colon API colon, and then we can provide whatever we want, like again number of seconds or minute. But because we defined the throttle API, and that API has built-in number of requests per minute, then we don't need to provide anything here. So if I reduce this into 2, or like let's reduce this into 2, so then let's go into our Postman, and let's try to send the request. 1, we received the user information. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to take this, go into collection, go into auth section, and replace this old expired token with a new one. Okay, then I'm going to try to get the posts. Get the posts. That worked. We got the posts. All right. Get again. Get again. Now we see these too many attempts. That's it. So only 2 requests per minute is okay, but after that we get this too many requests with status code to 429. And let's increase this into 200 as an example. And the great thing is that we have a function here, so we can have logic, the logic you are looking for. If the authenticated user is admin, you can provide 1000 requests per minute. If the authenticated user is a regular user, then you can provide 60 requests, 200 requests. So you have a logic, and you can define how your rate limit should work. And we also have different methods like per day, per hour, per minute, per second, whatever is suitable for you. I'm going to set this into 60 as an example, and I think that's great.